My name is Rachel Meyers, and I never imagined a single moment could shift the entire rhythm of my home. I'm a 42-year-old single mother, and my son Liam just turned 19. Ever since his father passed away 8 years ago, it's been the two of us, navigating life side by side. We've always been close, more like best friends than just mother and son. But even in our closeness, there were always certain boundaries we instinctively respected. Or at least, that's what I believed, until one unexpected evening shifted something deeper in both of us. That Friday had been unusually chaotic at work. I manage a small real estate office, and the week had been filled with back-to-back meetings and endless financial reports. When I finally walked through the front door that evening, I felt drained, mentally, physically, emotionally. Liam was in the living room, lounging on the couch with a game controller in his hand, and his headphones hanging loosely around his neck. He glanced up with a distracted smile, then returned to his screen. I smiled back, grateful to be home, and headed upstairs. A hot shower felt like the best way to unwind. I closed the bathroom door behind me and turned the water on, breathing in the comfort of that familiar sound. We never locked doors in our house. With just the two of us, privacy had always been more relaxed. I didn't even think twice about it. As I stepped into the warm spray and closed my eyes, I allowed myself to finally relax. I didn't know that Liam had paused his game and come upstairs to ask me something about dinner. He knocked once. With the water running, I didn't hear him. Assuming I hadn't responded because I couldn't hear, he cracked the door open and stepped inside. It was only when I turned slightly toward the shelf to grab my shampoo that I saw him. Liam's eyes widened and he froze. I gasped, startled, instinctively covering myself with my hands. But instead of panic or anger, I felt a strange calm settle over me. I didn't scream or yank the curtain closed. I just looked at him as he stood there, clearly flustered and embarrassed. "Mom, I didn't know you were." "I'm sorry." Liam stammered, spinning around so fast he almost tripped over himself. "It's okay," I said softly, my voice nearly drowned out by the water. "It was just an accident." He stood by the door, his back still turned to me, shoulders tense. "I shouldn't have come in. I didn't mean to. I thought you were downstairs and I just wanted to ask about food." I turned off the water and quickly wrapped myself in a towel. "Liam, it's all right. You didn't do anything wrong." He slowly turned, his face still red with embarrassment. "I just didn't expect. I mean, I've never seen you like that before." "I know," I replied gently, stepping out of the shower area. "You're growing up now. I guess sometimes I forget that you're not a little boy anymore." He gave a nervous laugh and glanced away. "Yeah, I guess we're both seeing each other a little differently these days." We stood in the doorway, an odd silence hanging between us. Something about what he said stayed with me. He wasn't wrong. Liam had changed so much over the past couple of years. He'd grown taller, more thoughtful, more aware. And perhaps he had begun to notice that I had changed too. I'd always tried to take care of myself, not out of vanity, but because self-care mattered to me. Still, I never really stopped to think about how he might perceive me. To him, I was always just mom. But that moment, brief and unplanned, seemed to quietly challenge that view for both of us. Dinner that evening was unusually quiet. Liam kept his eyes mostly on his plate. I tried steering the conversation toward everyday things, his classes, his internship coming up, the car needing an oil change, but the atmosphere between us had shifted. Not in a bad way, just different. There was an unspoken awareness now, one that neither of us fully knew how to articulate. The next day, I found him in the garage, working with some old electronics. I leaned against the door frame, watching him for a moment before I spoke, still thinking about what happened. I asked gently. He nodded, eyes still fixed on the wires in his hands. "Yeah, I feel kind of bad about it." I crossed a line. "You didn't do it on purpose," I reminded him. "And I didn't get upset, did I?" He finally looked up at me. "No, but I saw something I wasn't supposed to. I don't want to lose your trust." That touched something in me. I walked closer and placed a hand on his shoulder. "Liam, nothing about what happened changes how I see you. You're still my son. But maybe it's time I stop seeing you as just a boy. You're becoming a young man, and I have to recognize that. He swallowed hard and gave a small nod. It's just, I don't know. It felt different. Not bad. Just unexpected. That kind of honesty caught me off guard, but I respected it deeply. That night, I lay in bed thinking about our conversation. And instead of feeling unsettled, I felt strangely at peace. Relationships, even between parents and children, evolve. Sometimes we're caught off guard by how quickly someone grows, or how complex our emotions can be. But I knew in my heart that the best way to keep things healthy was to keep things honest. I didn't shame him. I didn't bury the moment. I allowed it to remain in the light, so it wouldn't grow into something misunderstood or distorted. Over the next few weeks, Liam and I grew even closer, in a new way. Our conversations deepened. He opened up to me about things he hadn't shared before: relationships, insecurities, questions about growing up. I offered him my support, not just as his mother, but as someone who understood how complex emotions can be. One weekend, we decided to go hiking at Willow Creek, a favorite spot we hadn't visited in years. We packed snacks, water bottles, and binoculars for birdwatching. After climbing the ridge trail, we sat under a huge oak tree, looking out over the valley. You know what still surprises me? Liam said, glancing sideways at me. What's that? I asked. That you didn't get mad that day. That you didn't treat me like a child. I think it made me realize how strong you really are. I smiled and nudged his arm playfully. I've had to be strong for both of us. But that doesn't mean I never get surprised or confused too. He nodded, looking out at the hills. I guess I just want you to know I admire you. I always have. Those words stayed with me. That moment in the bathroom had become a turning point. Not because of what happened visually, but because of what it revealed emotionally. It didn't create a rift between us. It showed us that no matter how awkward life can be, if you face it with openness and respect, even the strangest moments can strengthen a bond. Liam began dating more seriously a few months later. He met a girl named Natalie in his biology class. She was kind, bright, and thoughtful. The first time he brought her home for dinner, I watched with quiet pride as he pulled out her chair and made sure everything was set perfectly. I could tell how much he'd grown, not just physically but emotionally. After dinner, when Natalie excused herself to use the restroom, Liam leaned across the table and whispered, "Thanks for always being honest with me, Mom. You helped me become someone who can be open and respectful, with myself and with others." I reached across and squeezed his hand. "I'm proud of the man you're becoming, Liam. I'll always be here for you, no matter what." And I meant it. That one awkward moment became just that, a moment. It faded into the past, but it left behind something meaningful. A reminder that life is unpredictable, that people grow, and that closeness doesn't always follow a perfect script. Sometimes, it's the imperfect moments that teach us the most. Because we didn't hide from what happened, we grew from it. Because we talked about it, we didn't have to carry shame. It didn't break our connection. It deepened it. That's what real trust does. It gives space for honesty, for vulnerability, for growth. Thank you so much for listening to our story. If this touched you in any way, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your thoughts or reflections in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Until next time, take care and keep embracing the beautiful complexities of life.